Fine. If you could just identify yourself again for me, please.
Carlo Visser from the Borbor Highway Patrol, leading Senior Constable 31178, as I've already stated to you. Now, have you got?
So, are you a member of Victoria?
I'm a member
Police?
of Victoria Police. All right.
That's
now, okay. Have you got your driver's license with you?
Am I under arrest?
No, you're not under arrest at this
Then
point.
I'm free to go.
I'm asking you if you've got your driver's license there.
Am I under arrest?
Not at this point. All right.
So I'm free to go.
No, you're not free to go at this point. All right.
Well, why am I being detained?
You're being detained because you're the driver of a motor vehicle. All right. So as the driver of a motor vehicle, you're required to have a Victorian driver's license or another interstate license or an overseas license. All right. Now, if you haven't got that license, right, or if you haven't got a license, you're still required to identify yourself. If you don't identify yourself,
I'm going to give you a copy of this affidavit that was sent to the Chief Commissioner of Police and to the Minister of Police.
That's fine.
That is my affidavit.
That's got nothing to do with me. All right, you're the driver of a motor vehicle, and I'm asking you because you're required under the Road Safety Act to produce a driver's license.
If you read that affidavit, you are familiar with what an affidavit is?
I'm familiar with what an affidavit is.
Are you familiar that an unchallenged affidavit stands as truth?
All right. No, I'm not. I'm not going to go into the into where you're headed with all this. All right.
I'm going to give you that as a courtesy.
And I'll put it there. All right. I'm giving you a courtesy to either state your name or to produce a driver's license.
I've told you my name is Alex and that's my affidavit.
Right.
Excuse me, you're not allowed to open my door.
I'm allowed to open the door. I'm allowed to take your key. Because
You are not allowed to open my door.
Right?
I'm not going to drive off.
All right. Okay.
You cannot make presumptions.
Can't
You
make
are now
presumptions that you were turning the key
to turn my radio, my clock on. You are now unlawfully detaining me. Here is the schedule of my fees. This is now evidence that you must reproduce in a court of law.
Alex, just listen to me for a moment, all right?
You opened my door
listen
unlawfully. I did not give you permission to do that.
Alex, listen to me carefully.
I'm listening to you.
You're not. You're talking over top of me. Now listen carefully, all right? As the driver of a motor vehicle, there are certain requirements, okay, under Victorian law, under the Road Safety Act, all right? Now, one of them is to produce a driver's license or to state your name and address when intercepted by a police officer and requested for your driver's license or to state your name and address. At this point, you haven't done it, all right? Now, also with that, you've got a requirement to undergo a preliminary breath test. As the driver of a motor vehicle, I now require you to undergo a preliminary breath test on a prescribed device.
Can you show me, please, under the Crimes Act, where I have committed a crime?
We're talking the Road Safety Act, all right?
I have rebutted.
I'm not going to go there.
Well, you're not going to go there.
Are you prepared to undergo a preliminary breath test?
No, I'm not, because I'm not obliged to.
So, no, you are, because you're the driver of a motor vehicle.
I have written, no, you listen to me. I have sent an affidavit to the Chief Commissioner of Police and to the Minister of Police where I have rebutted the authority of Victoria Police.
Well,
unless you can provide proof in writing that I have signed consent to that, you have no authority to detain me unless I commit a crime.
Well, at this point in time, right, you're committing an offence against the Road Safety Act.
That is a statutory offence. That's a presumption of law.
And as a result of that, we can arrest you because we don't know who you are.
That is, I have identified myself and I've given you my affidavit.
Right.
You have chosen not to read my affidavit.
What's your full name and address?
I'm not obliged to give that.
All right. So is your full name and address on that affidavit?
My affidavit is on there and it was given to the Chief Commissioner.
Is your full name and address on this affidavit?
Then I suggest you read my affidavit.
All right. Well, offside here, we'll have a look at that, see if your name and address is there. Now, this is your motor vehicle?
It's not a motor vehicle, it's my mode of transport.
Okay. So, all right, well, let's take this back a step, all right? So at this point in time, you're not giving me your full name and address.
Am I under arrest?
Hang on. Listen to me for a moment.
I'm listening.
No, you're not. You're talking over top of me again. Okay, that hasn't been signed or witnessed. All right, so
that's a copy of my affidavit. Right, the signed copy and sealed copy has been sent to the Chief Commissioner of Police and to the Minister of...
Okay, So
police.
you're not stating your full name and address as required. You're not producing a driver's license that has been requested. Is this your motor vehicle?
Under what criminal, what crime is it?
Is this your motor vehicle? Or
Can
your
you
mode
please
of transport?
tell me what crime I've committed?
All right, so far we're looking at unlicensed driving. We're looking at using an unregistered motor vehicle because there's no registration plates on this. And we've got refused preliminary breath test.
Under
All
what?
right?
Where are
So
they in the
hang on,
Crimes Act?
Hang on, they're under the Road Safety Act.
Well,
all right?
they are statutory offences. Is that correct? Are they statutory
the Road
offences?
Safety Act,
They are presumptions of law. They are not law.
All right. You can. I'm not going to argue that toss.
If
with you,
you've read those, you can hand them back to me.
well, you can have them back.
However,
I haven't read them. There's no name.
at
address.
11:44, you were given a copy of my schedule of fees for you to unlawfully detain me.
All right. We're not unlawfully detaining you at this point.
You are.
No. All
Under
right.
what law are
Now,
you
is
detaining
this-
me?
Oh, look, I've already stated it. All right.
I
I'm not
demand
gonna
to
keep
speak to
going.
a more senior person than you,
You do. Right. That's under why is that?
because you are being belligerent.
I'm being belligerent.
Yes, because
right.
you do not have the authority. I have given you my
Is this
affidavit
your
to
motor
read.
vehicle?
Am I under arrest?
At this point, no. But
Thank you. Then
we
I'm free to
can-
go.
Hang on. Will you listen to me?
You
I'm
understand?
giving you a choice. We can arrest you, all right?
Under
We
what
can take-
charge?
Failing to state your name and address.
I'm
I
not
do
obliged
not
to
know
do
who
that.
you are. You're
I've
driving
given
a
you my
motor vehicle.
affidavit. I've identified myself. Under this schedule of fees for unlawful detention, you, since 11:44,
Yep.
are now up for $100 per minute.
$100
Just so
per
you're
minute.
aware of that, that's my schedule of fees for
Well,
unlawful detention.
You can bill me, all right?
I'll be doing
you
more than
can send
that.
it to Victoria Police.
No,
all right?
I'll be sending to you
Now-
personally because you are personally liable. If you'd bothered to read my letter, you would know that.
All right. Now, is this your vehicle?
Am I under arrest?
Is this your vehicle?
Am I under arrest?
I'm giving you the option. You either.
You
wanna
would be
call the
aware.
big van up and then we'll arrest him.
You would be aware that to arrest someone, a person has rights.
Yes.
And that person has a right to remain silent,
Yes.
that anything they say or
Yes.
can do could be used against them.
Yes.
I am not obliged to answer your questions. Am I under arrest?
I have not placed you under arrest at this point in time. But
And
under
I've
the
told
Road
you, I have
Safety Act,
identified myself. I do not acknowledge
No.
the Road Safety Act because it's a
Well-
presumption of law.
That's your issue. All right?
Well, it's
So-
yours now because you're unlawfully detaining me.
No, we're not unlawfully detaining you at this point.
Well, you don't think you are, but under what law are you detaining me?
All right. You keep that up. Now, is the motor vehicle yours? Or
Am
your
I under
motor
arrest?
transport? I'm talking about the car.
Am I under
We're
arrest?
just going to keep going around and around circles.
That's why
here.
you need to get a senior officer here.
No, we'll
Because
get
you
the
clearly
divvy
can't.
van down
You
here.
can't cope with this.
I can't. Mate, it doesn't. I don't get paid any extra for standing here or for doing something else. All right? It doesn't worry me. I'm giving you the option.
Am I under arrest?
Not at this point.
Then I'm free to go.
Well, if you want to come push the shove, then I'm placing you under arrest. You want to step out of the vehicle?
What are you chasing me under arrest for?
For the
Cite the legislation, please.
you're under arrest because you're failing to state your name and address as required. All right?
I'm
So
not
as-
required under statutory law, which is a
all
presumption
right,
of
do you want to
law.
undo your seatbelt?
So you're going to falsely arrest me?
No, I'm not falsely arresting you. We're arresting you.
For
All
what?
right? As I said, under the Road Safety Act, we've requested.
I
your
have
name
rebutted-
numerous times. Okay, you might rebut it all.
So are you going to use force against me?
No, I'm asking you to step out of the
Well,
vehicle.
I'm not stepping out of the
Well,
vehicle.
then, if you don't want to step out of the vehicle, then we're going to have to get you out of the vehicle.
So are you
Again,
going to use force against me?
So no, I'm asking you. To
Are you
step
going to
out of
harm me? I feel threatened now
Do you feel
because you have
threatened?
not provided me with the legislation,
All
the
right.
law under which
Okay.
I am being arrested.
As I said to you before, all right. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to place you under arrest. We're
On
going to
what
go
charge?
We're going to go back to the station to confirm your identity.
Under what
Under
charge?
the Road Safety Act, I've asked you.
I have rebutted the Road Safety Act.
All right.
It is an affidavit that has been sent to the Chief Commissioner of Police,
That's fine.
and that has not been challenged.
That's fine. All
An
right.
unchallenged affidavit stands as truth.
Oh, man, oh,
Are you
man.
aware of that?
Well, you can say what you like.
I
all right?
am.
At this point in time, we have a power to demand or to ask for your name and address.
You do not have the power
You're
if I do
driving
not
a motor
consent.
vehicle.
You do not have the power if I do not
You want to
consent.
step out of the vehicle,
I do
boy?
not want to step out of
All
the
right.
vehicle.
So what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. All right. Once the divisional van gets here, then we're going to place you under arrest.
Thank you. Can you identify yourself too, please?
Senior Constable Matthew John 435 Belleville Highway Truck.
Okay.
Could you say that again, please? That was not clear.
That was very clear.
No, you mumbled. I would like you to repeat who you are, please.
Saying that I mumbled.
Yes, you did mumble. I did not hear it clearly. Can you please identify yourself clearly?
Matthew John 1335 Belleville Highway Truck.
That was Senior Constable Matthew John. Was that correct? Thank you.
Now get out of the car.
All right.
Excuse me?
You need to get out of the car. You're under arrest.
I reject that. Are you going to use force? I feel threatened now.
Alex, listen
I feel
to me.
threatened.
Alex, listen.
I am under duress.
Alex, listen to me carefully, all right? And don't talk over me. What's going to happen is, as you haven't identified yourself other than Alex, all right, we don't know who you are. Okay, we've given you ample opportunity to state your full name and address, which you haven't. You haven't produced a driver's license as requested, all right? You failed to undergo a preliminary breath test as required. You don't believe that this is a motor vehicle, but this is your mode of transport. It hasn't got any registration plates on it. All right, so as a result of that, we need to know who you are.
I've told you who I am. I've given you a signed affidavit.
No, just listen
a signed affidavit that was given to your Chief Commissioner.
Yeah, well...
That stands as truth until it's rebutted.
Okay, just listen to me carefully, all right? So as a result of your not giving us the information we require, you're going to be placed under arrest. The Warragul Divisional van will be down here, and I'm happy for you to sit here until the van comes, all right?
Thank you.
Once the van is here, you'll be coming out of the vehicle.
Will that have a senior officer that I can speak to?
I'm not sure who's on the divisional van, all right? But at this point in time, that's what's going to happen. Do you understand that?
So
I've asked you to nicely...
I have not committed a crime?
Well, you have. You've committed...
Where in the Crimes Act? Please cite in the Crimes Act where I've committed a crime.
We're under the Road Safety Act. This is where we're working from.
That is a presumption of law. It is not law.
You can keep going around there, but it's what legislation we have got to work with.
That's your choice. You work under two parts of Victoria Police Act.
Yep.
One is as a constable, which is under common law, and the other is 51B. 51B requires you to have my consent to that so-called legislation, and I do not consent. I've rebutted it in an affidavit.
All right. Well, that's fine if you feel that way, all right? But at the end of the day, you're going to go back.
Well, at the end of the day, the clock's ticking, and you're accountable, and so are you, Constable John.
Fine. That's fine. At $100 a second or whatever it is.
No, it's $100 a minute.
All
I
right.
gave you a copy of the schedule, and you've refused to keep it.
Yeah, I'm not going
The papers that I have given you are actually evidence, and you have not kept them.
No, I'm not worried about that, all right? Where were they? Seen you?
I said about 10 minutes away.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm going to check on that if you want.
Yeah, if you can.
You did not have a search warrant to open my mode of transport.
No, you're fiddling with the keys, all right? I was under the impression you were going to drive away.
Well, impression is
all
not
right?
fact.
Well, that doesn't matter. So all I've done is open the door.
Well, you did it unlawfully. You need a search warrant to do that.
Well, no, I don't.
Well, we'll see about that.
All right, we'll see.
Because you
about
know
that.
you do, and I know you do.
For what? To open a door?
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
It's unlawful entry into my property.
No. Now, you see, you take it to the nth degree. All right. Now, if you don't want to acknowledge the state, you don't want to acknowledge the laws of the land, so to speak, that is fine. I don't have a bone with that. All right. However, you are driving a motor vehicle, okay, and the requirements for driving a motor vehicle are such that you have to have a license, you have to state your name when intercepted by police, car has to be registered, you have to undergo a preliminary breath test, all right? By failing to undergo a preliminary breath test, you can lose your licence for a period of 2 years, you can be fined, you can even go to jail depending on what history you've got. So, you know, we've given you plenty of opportunity to state your full name.
I asked you if I was under arrest. You said I wasn't, so I was free to go.
At this point in time, you are now under arrest.
What
I
for?
said that before. For failing to state your name and address as required.
That's not a crime.
Okay. That's fine. I'm only leaving you sitting there as courtesy to you because the divisional van's not here yet.
Thank you. The clock's ticking. I don't mind.
No, it doesn't worry me either.
Well, it might when it's your super that's being forked out at the end.
My super will then talk to the Chief Commissioner.
Well,
And
he
then-
will certainly be called
and
as a
they
witness.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. So where will this be held? This court case, just out of curiosity.
It's in the affidavit.
It's in the affidavit.
If you read that,
No, so which court?
well, read the affidavit.
Well, no, it's which court?
Read the affidavit.
No, I don't have to read
No,
the
you don't have to
affidavit.
because the Chief Commissioner's got a copy and so has the Minister of Police.
Rightio, so you should
Signed
be,
and sealed.
You should be able to tell me what court I have to attend.
I'm not
at.
obliged to answer any of your questions.
Oh, okay then. So it's a one-way street then. That's what we're saying.
Well, I'm not under arrest, so I should
Well,
be
no.
free to go.
You are under arrest. All right?
Well, under a statutory
Okay.
provision which I have rebutted.
Yeah, all right. That's fine if you want to do that. And like I said, you're only sitting here out of courtesy because the divisional van's not here yet.
And because I feel threatened and under duress. Because you've
Goodbye.
told me that you're going to remove me from the vehicle.
Well, no, I've asked you if you want to step out of
I'm
the
not
vehicle.
obliged to.
All right, if you don't want to step out of the vehicle, once the divisional van is here, then you will be removed from the vehicle.
By force?
Well, I'll be asking you again. And then
Are you going to use force to remove me from the vehicle? Because I'm not obliged to leave it.
We're allowed to use minimal force.
Then I
all
feel
right?
threatened.
Okay.
And
that's fine.
I'm now acting under duress.
Okay, that's fine. Where are they?
I'm turning my car off, just so you're aware, and removing the key. Are you recording this?
Am I?
Yes?
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, you're not happy with that, either?
No, I'm very happy that it's being recorded. Are you sure it's working?
Am I sure it's working?
Are you sure it's working?
Oh, I've turned it on.
Good, so we should have two records of
I can't speak
this.
to technology.
Okay, so we should have two records of this. It's
Yep.
very good. Just noting for the record that you were handed a copy of the affidavit which you chose not to read. You were also handled a schedule of fees for unlawful detention, which was a notice, and you've handed that back. I'll cite to you Regina versus Banner, 1970. Police officers have no power whatever to arrest or detain a citizen for the purpose of questioning him or facilitating their investigations. I've requested to speak to a senior officer, and you have denied me that.
No, I haven't denied you that. You can speak to the senior officer back at the station. That's an easy fix.
Officer Visser, do you intend to harm, injure or punish me by any method of assault, arrest or incarceration because we have invoked our fundamentally protected rights? Did you not hear my question?
I heard your question, all right, but we've been over this all before, all right? I don't know how many times I have to tell you what is going to happen once the divisional van is here and we go back to the station to identify you. It's as simple as that.
So I'm not under arrest at the moment?
No, you are under arrest at this point in time, all right?
And
As
what
I said,
charge?
We've been over this.
I want it cited, please.
You-
I want the
we've-
section. I want the legislation and
Under
section,
the Road
please.
Safety Act, all right?
Yes,
I'm not
what
going
section?
to go into all the details of it.
What section?
I'm not going into the details of it, all right? I'm
So
not
you
gonna-
don't know
I'm not
that
gonna
you don't
play
know the
that-
legislation you're arresting me under.
See, we're just going to go around in circles here.
What
We're not-
section
no, I'm
of
not
your
going into that.
legislation are
I'm
you
not going
citing?
into that. I'm not going into any of it.
So you don't know what you're arresting me under. Under statutory
I've
legislation
already-
that I have rebutted. I'm trying to help you out here.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm pointing out to you that you are in breach.
No, I'm not in breach of anything, all right?
You have unlawfully detained me.
No, I haven't unlawfully detained you. We've been through all that already, Alex. So we just...
I'm just telling you the
Alex,
scenario.
Alex, just listen to me, all right? We've been through all this already. And you're not going to tell me your name and address, all right? And I'm not going to let you drive off.
I have.
All right? Once the divisional van is here, as I said, you're under arrest, all right? Yeah, and you're right. You don't have to say or do anything. Anything you say or do may be given in evidence, that's fine. If you want to contact your solicitor, by all means contact your solicitor. You know, I'll even talk to your solicitor if you want. You know, you've got the right to inform a friend or relative of your whereabouts, all that sort of stuff. There's no issue with any of that, all right? So what we're saying to you is, as the driver of a motor vehicle, there's certain obligations. You're not fulfilled those obligations. So therefore, once the divisional van is here, you'll be placed in the divisional van, will be taken back up to the station, and from there we'll find out what your identity is, or what your whole name is, and your address, and then we go from there. All right, simple as that. As soon as we know your name and address, you can go. We just don't know who you are.
I gave you my affidavit.
No, on the paperwork that was given, your name and address is not there.
I gave you my name
You
and
gave
an
me your
address
name
where I
as
can be
Alex,
contacted.
all right?
That's correct.
I've asked for your full name and address, okay? And that's what you haven't given me.
I don't have a name.
All right. Well, how are you known?
Well, that's
then?
why I said you call me Alex.
Right here.
You can call me Alex.
All right, Alex. So, do you vote at all?
Am I under arrest?
Okay. Don't worry about it. See, this is that circle going around.
Well,
again.
this is exactly the point.
Yeah.
And understand that everything that you say or do
Yep.
will be used as evidence against
Yeah,
you as
no,
well.
That's fine.
I'm now going to pause this video.
Yeah, that's all right. Matt, you want to just call up 251?
Continuing
All
the video recording of this incident.
Okay, now Alex, as I said to you, once the divisional van is here, we're going to take you down to the divisional van, place you in the back of that, get you up to the station until we can identify you. Do you agree that I said that before?
I agree that you said
Okay.
that. So
Okay,
are you now
now-
going to remove me by force?
I'm asking you,
Because I feel threatened.
all right, I'm asking you to step out of the vehicle, all right? If you don't want to step out of the vehicle, then we will remove you from the vehicle. And that will mean that we will have to go hands-on with you, all right?
So can I just have a clarification for you that if I do not step out, you will be using force to remove me?
If you do not step out of the vehicle, I will be placing my hands on you and I will be getting you out of the vehicle.
I now
All
feel
right.
threatened, and because of my safety, I am leaving my vehicle.
Rightio. All right, now, do you want to lock your car up?
I will.
Okay, we'll lock the car up.
I'm turning it on to close the mirror. To close the.
Okay, is there anything else you need? You got your phone, you got your keys. All right, now just walk back down towards the back of the divisional van down here.
Officers, you are now complicit in this. Can you please identify yourselves? Officer, can you please identify yourself?
Senior Constable McMahon, 39362.
All right.
Where are you
now,
based?
Just, Alex, just
Can you
step
please
on.
identify yourself, please?
First Constable Hatton, 42334.
All
And
right,
where are you
now,
based?
Warringah Police Station.
Alex, listen to me, all right? Now, have you got cigarette lighter, smokes, sharps, needles, or anything like that?
I don't smoke and I don't take
No,
drugs.
that's fine. That's fine. So you haven't got any of them. Because what's going to happen before you go into the vehicle, we're just going to give you a quick pat-down search, all right? Do you understand that?
I feel threatened, so I'm...
All right. Okay. All right.
So what do we need to do? We need your keys.
Yeah, you're
your
going to
phone.
get the city police over.
They're now taking my keys away
Yep,
from me.
that's fine. We need your phone, your paperwork.
And I'll keep my phone to
No,
record the
we
incident,
need your
thank
phone.
you.
You can't have any property in the back of the pod.
Yeah.
Will it be returned to me as soon as I'm...
Return as soon as we get to the
I'm now surrendering my phone out of duress because I'm being threatened. So I'm going to turn it off and they have promised to give it back to me.